This video is all about how I went from this idea to this final design. Instagram makes creating a brand identity look easy, fast, and very satisfying. But what happens behind the scenes of creating one of these brands and even just a logo? Well, I can tell you that if not weeks, but months are spent designing and crafting brand identities. And in this video sponsored by Squarespace, I'm going to walk you through one of my client projects from last year, all the way from the start to the finish. Now, my process works like this. I will normally get an email where Naomi will come and tell me we're working with someone, we'll work on the price, negotiate, contracts are signed, and then we'll do a meeting. And that meeting is the first one. We do it over the phone or over Skype or something like that. Who uses Skype? We use Google Meet. After the contract has been signed, the deposit's been paid, we've discussed it with the client that we want to work with them on the project, we will do a meeting. We met with the guys over at Made by Rally who have tasked me to design their logo for them and help them with their brand identity. Now, you might be thinking that's a bit weird because Made by Rally is a creative agency. Well, this is actually more common than you think. And I'm going to explain why throughout the video. The first call is all about gathering intelligence. I always see creating brand identities like being a detective, where we kind of have to snoop around and look at patterns of behavior. We have to see what the client really wants and translate that correctly using our expertise, our taste and design direction into a final product. And overall, that is a service that we provide. So it all starts with the brief. 9 times out of 10, they will not have a brief. So what do we do? Well, every designer's dream is to have a brief that is basically like what ChatGPT would generate, this big long list of things that it needs to have, but that is never the case. Normally, we work without briefs. So what do we do in this situation? I use an app called Millernote, or you can use FigJam, but Millernote allows me to create a brief very fast based upon questions and things that we've had in our conversation. Normally, I will record all the calls I have with clients so I can write the information afterwards. The brief goes from all about who they are, what they do, and what they're looking for, and the metrics of success, which is huge. So for Made by Rally, it was a creative agency for specifically athletes, people in the outdoors. I've written down a bunch of information here in the brief that isn't all correct now because it does change. When we create a brand identity, we're not just creating a one system rule, we're creating a toolkit that can change over time. So I wrote here as a direction and about the client that their aim is to amplify personalities in the digital space. So that's online, social media. And we looked at the brand values and their missions. Now, again, these all change over time. So I wrote what I believe would be good for me to have, but accurately reflected what they do have. Now, remember, this is a bit of a different project because they are a creative agency. They know what I know. However, I've got a different perspective. So everything in the brand values bit probably needs tweaking, but I've written, creating quality, unique work. They treat their clients with respect and differently to other creative agencies. And I wrote that their mission, their overall mission as a company, is to establish themselves as a key player in the creative field for outdoors and athletes. Their audience, individual athletes, sport teams, artists, outdoor brands. And the goal of this project is to design a badass logo type. To understand and make known Rally's target audience is what I've written as well, because that is huge. If the logo doesn't actually represent their audience, it's going to be a flop. Now, you can do your brief like this if you like. You can write it down, whatever you want to do, but I prefer whiteboarding them down because you've got all these different modules that you can just visually place in there. It's easier for the client. Okay, next step. Moodboarding. Now, this part of the process is a bit different. A mood board essentially takes the vibe, the atmosphere, the feeling, the mood of a current project with different images. It can have logos in it. It can have random images like you see here. And this all goes towards the vibe that we're going for with the brand. Obviously, you see here, there's no logos. There's a bit of typography up here in the love is all you need part. But all of these images represent what Rally is about. It gives off a feeling. It's intrinsic in us as humans. And that's why we have mood boards. We do this to align ourselves with the creative direction. Now, this is one way we do it as an agency here. We will create the mood board and sometimes we'll send it back to the client, or in another call, we'll give them the mood board so they can be aligned with it as well. However, this kind of mood board doesn't work so well. They might be a bit hit and miss with this, but what this moodboard does well is it gives us nice color schemes. You see here, we've got this nice image there, we've got this nice image here. We can actually pick out colors that we see in these moodboards here for our brand, and that's what we eventually did. We created this nice sort of green color. Another step in this is actually creating a mind map. This is part of my moodboarding stage. I write their name or what they identify as the middle part here, and out here we write things to do with the company. Now this could be construed as nouns, it could be anything. I've just written, you know, athletics, flag, creative space, the outdoors. Now the flag came around because I was thinking, you know, it's sporty, there's a flag. And obviously the client said as well during the first conversation that they wanted to have a flag in their design. So from that point of doing the mind map, I have a bunch of words that have helped me out with this to show my mental scape with this. I go ahead and create some ideas here. Now I'm not showing you everything that we have with the client because I don't think they want you to see absolutely everything. This is actually a different version of the inspiration board that I did within our online course where I go through this project in a hell of a lot more detail called Logo Launch. Check it out down below. But essentially here we create some ideas or we get some inspiration online. Now a lot of people don't like to do this, but I do. Collecting images of other logos, icons, and things like that can help you really identify what you like about a certain icon. Obviously, we're working with a logo type, so what do we do? This is part of it. And one thing that struck me was the flag ideas. In how do we get the flag inside of the logo? If we're creating a logo type, it will need to have a flag and a logo itself, or could the R be in the flag or the flag be on top of Rally? Having this inspiration here means that we're not creating designs in a vacuum. We actually have a place of inspiration. Like I love the type inside of this. I love the fact that it all connected in this lowercase serif thing. It's very friendly, which worked well. It's old school. This new Dribble logo that they brought out, really nice monoline script, has a bit of an edge to it at the top, and the angle going up is nice and friendly. But the one that I really liked was this damn good one. You can see it was really big, strong, worked by itself. However, there was no identifying marks of a flag, but I did see that we could add a flag in here if we wanted to on the top or the bottom. This one here is a bit of a joke one, but I put one in there for when I'm showing the client to really see their reactions to them. Now, this is quite different to what we do at the end. However, the base shapes looked cool. Obviously some flag ideas here, and here. This is the one that really got me going. I love the idea that this one was actually morphing by itself. And this is where we took one of our largest parts of inspiration for this project, because this design here is really nice. Now, one thing that everyone needs, including myself, is a website. Now, Squarespace is sponsoring this video because as creative people like yourselves, it doesn't matter what stage you are in this creative journey, you need a place to call home online, and that's where your website is. Squarespace is brilliant for everyone, not only because they have thousands of award-winning, fully customizable templates, but also because it's affordable for you. You don't have to know coding. You can just be a visual graphic designer like myself. I don't know a wink of coding, and you can design the best website. Use a template, fully edit it in a really intuitive way, create a contact page, stick up your portfolio, boom, you're done. You can even buy your domain names, your Google Workspace suite on there. It's insane. It's so convenient and so easy. It's all in one place. Something that I used to do quite a lot that you guys can do is sell templates, sell fonts, sell Procreate brushes, all through your Squarespace website. So you could have like a portfolio page, a contact page, and a storefront as well, where people can buy pieces of work from you to make you that little bit of money. Now, if you want 10% off Squarespace, click the link down below or use the code that you see. And that 10% happens once the website's live. So when you want it to go live, you can put that 10% on. And before that, you can actually design it for free. So go and check out the trial. And when you're ready to go live, hit that 10% discount on. Okay, next step, sketching. For the initial ideas, I always work fast. It's quantity over quality for the most part. I will get my pen and pencil out with real paper a lot of the time, and I'll start just drawing. writing the word rally in many different ways. I wanted to see how the letters combined together. We wanted to make it look like it was fresh, that it wasn't a font. We wanted it to look ornate and just sick. We just wanted to make it look good. So I'd continue to ideate for as long as I could. Once I've drawn rally out many times, I know what works and what doesn't work. So then I bring my favorite ideas, normally 2 or 3 of them, into a document. However, because Rally actually is a creative agency, I felt very comfortable sharing them my bad ideas to kind of prove concepts to them. The main ideas that I had were this one here, which is taken with a font called Nohimi, and that is from Rajesh Rajput, my favorite font designer. And this one is very clean, but we had the flag here. Now I like that idea because it was clean, you could read it very easily, it was very scalable. You could scale this bad boy down to very small and you could read it was Rally. It just looked nice and it worked within the color schemes that I sort of chose for it. It looked really good. Here's another version of it, but just slightly thinner weighted. The next one, we did this sort of groovy font because I knew that if we were going to do a flag, I wanted to try and create a really groovy typeface with the letter R. And you may have seen this R a few times before, but this R is very custom made. It's an icon and it stands by itself, as well as works with the type. So I was very excited for it. But unfortunately, even though it looks cool here with it in 3D, which I wanted to show them, it was a bit too groovy, it didn't match. So I went to a monoline approach. One thing that was really important for the design process in general was to make sure the rally was bespoke and it had to look bespoke. It couldn't look like a font, right? So we tried this, but the problem is to create an R that is distinguished and it wraps around, it just looks terrible. So I showed them my terrible options here of what we could do. So it looks like I'm presenting these, but I'm not. These are the ones that I said, these aren't very good. However, I did show them this idea here. Now this idea works really well because it kind of angles to the top. However, the background color was a problem. There is a company called Bally Sports and it looked very similar to that. And that's because of the background color, right? And because this is very, rugged right now, I didn't do any sort of refinements to it. It is vector, but sketched up as well. It looked too much like Bally. Another iteration I did of this was to make it more uniform, was to create this sort of sweep here. This is a prototype of, I was trying to create like this to be a flag in the wind, but it just didn't look great either. It kind of looked like a nose or something really weird around it. I wasn't too happy. Other sketches that we had down here, you can see that the stacked method doesn't work. But I did have this sort of brain-crushing, mind-bending idea from the inspiration board here. Instead of trying to put a flag into the design, made it act like what a flag would do. So wave in the wind. So I decided, I'm going to just mess around with this and do some research and development, some R&D on this, work out if we could create the word rally into something. And we had these ideas where I used envelope distort to like mess around with the actual design. And when I started sketching, I sketched all the way to the point until where I got this image here of this R. I drew the letter R and then I made the flag out of it. And I kind of liked this. I knew this could work. So I brought it into Illustrator like you see here. I created this. Didn't look great. But then I created this. This looks a lot better. It looks very encompassing. I like the idea of it a lot. Until we got to this point here where I started creating more variants. And I'm not sure why there's no artboard on these, but let's just create one there. So we're here, we have one solid idea. The guys over at Maybe Rally really like this idea because although it's very basic and simple, it worked really well. But there were things that we could do to further distinguish this icon. So I brought it into this like Illustrator document here. I started seeing what we could do with the flag itself. I wanted to see how the R could interact with the flag to make it look like it's more encompassing. So I created a bunch of variations. We see here from number 1, R is cut out of the flag. See here that the R stem connection is going into the flag and it's sort of distorting the flag at the same time. And over here we have a round cut from the R, which makes sense. And then we start going in and over until we get to a point over here where it starts working well. In the end, this is the one that we chose because it worked really well. The R was legible, the flag looked like it was waving in the wind, and you could tell it was a flag. It looked so nice and it worked well, but this was the start of the refinement process. So what I did was we brought it here. I've used this gridding part here to grid it up to make sure each line is in proportion, making sure that it fits well. This just shows the client how well it works when we're designing something or in the end product. Now for the logo type itself, that is the icon. The logo type itself isn't being used very much, and there's a reason for it. It doesn't really work very well. The art is just brilliant for what it is. Made by Rally is quite a long name, so having an icon with that just makes sense. I just refer to it as Rally. But here is one that we created, which has the sort of R coming in from the Y. We have this one here created as well. Now, in the course that I created called Logo Launch, I actually show you how to design this logo type and any other logo type from start to finish in more detail. But let me just say, it does take a while to get to a point where it is fully ready. The great thing about this is that it's very scalable. You can read that no matter what scale it's at, even at ridiculously small sizes. It's been gridded up so it works in a variety of different places. So even though it's quite rectangular in its bounding box, you see here, we can actually drag it up to the top left and scale it down proportionately so it looks good at the top left. Same with this one, actually. We can drag this one proportionally up there. If we use the dimension tool, we can see that it's all uniform. So 38 pixels, 38 pixels, and I'm betting you anything, this will be probably 37 pixels or 39. Yeah, it's 39. That's the offset that I've created there. Let's try this one over here, 39 in the offset, brilliant. So this design was created here as an idea of what the logo type process could be. The main thing to keep in mind when doing brand identity is that a lot of it is research. A lot of it is discovering new ways of seeing the same old thing and highlighting that. A lot of the time is spent on trial and error, and that's perfectly fine. What you see on Instagram, what you see everywhere else of people just adding a little dot and it's finished, that just makes for a really cool, satisfying video, and there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I love those. Here is their website in all its glory. Let's load it in. You can see the Rally logo there. Works really nicely. The branding is so clean and crisp. I love what they've done with the website. Now, you might be wondering, Will, why have they got you to do the logo? Why didn't they do it themselves? They're a creative agency. I get this question a lot because we do design logos for a lot of creative agencies. And the main reason is because designing a logo for yourself is a lot more difficult than designing it for someone else. A lot of the time, creative agencies, even designers, brand identity designers, will actually ask for my opinion on their work, or they'll invite me to work with them on a project or to give them some logo design ideas, some brand identity ideas. Because I see things from a different perspective, I have different experiences, and that's what helps with a brand identity project. So guys, make sure you go and follow Made by Rally. They're insanely good and nice people. And I hope this video has helped you, inspired you, giving you a different perspective on brand identity as a whole and how we create brand identities for our clients. There's a lot more that goes into it that I wish I could go into, but I'll do that in another video for a different type of client project that we're currently working on now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Like and subscribe. See you soon. Goodbye.